Hey, welcome back everyone. So in today's video, I'm actually going to show you how to draw a horn or horns. I guess we could do two. Yeah, probably two. But I also wanted to give you a quick update. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've got some of the work already done, but I wanted to bring you in on the forefront of it. I'm making a creature design brush pack. So that's why you see these weird little creature eyes. Oftentimes I'll draw some human ones as well, just kind of messing around. And I'll probably include some of those as well because there's certain monsters that, or creatures, I should say, that look cool with human eyes as well. So I'll probably incorporate some of those. There'll be reptilian eyes and all sorts of stuff. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse behind that, and it made me think about talking to you about it because I'm going to show you today how to draw your very own horns, which are pretty easy to do and fun. And so we'll jump right into that. Keep in mind the creature design brush pack, I'm probably going to make it free, make it a pay what you want type thing. I'm kind of getting sick of marketing lately. So one of the things I notice is when you make things free, they kind of market themselves and then people can tell you what they think it's worth. So with horns, I generally will start with a shape like something like this. We'll do a few of these just to kind of warm up. And what the goal here really is to like practice pushing the form to and fro, so closer to you, more away from you, and then eventually you'll get into obviously doing the really cool ones where you swirl it around. You see my shapes will be funky at first and I have to kind of play around with it and edit it. Do something like that, and then connect it to the head of the creature or whatever you got there. So again, you're going to practice just like maneuvering these shapes to where they look like they're going back into space, getting closer towards the connection point, and then drawing a bit of a curve like that. So just do a variety of these until you feel warmed up with this concept. Another one. Let's try one where it comes up the side and back like this. This is pretty popular for like helmets. Something like that. And the other thing too is we'll draw these lines that help to push the direction a bit more. So if you go like this, you see that immediately that makes it look more dimensional. It's like I don't know if you'd call that a plane change, but there's a kind of a shift in the, maybe we would call it a plane change, but it gives it more depth and dimension. And you can do that a few areas. You could do that again here if you wanted. If you were trying to make it look more, so I'm going to take the same one and I'm going to show you a variation. If you were trying to make this look more organic in a way, you could take this and bump this up a bit. I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. Let's go up here and do it. Bump this up a bit intentionally. All right, make it a little bumpy. And you could even roll some of these into here. So it sort of starts to give it this texture. You can make it look beat up and tattered. And then also, usually finish it off by putting these kind of curves like this. I'll do that more towards the end of it. But I just want to show you that just even this part right here can make it look a little more organic, where the other one's probably a bit too smooth, but it just depends on what you're going for. So let's do another one where, let's try. Sometimes it looks cool just to bring them down and forward, so a little more simplified. And then also what we'll do is we'll attach it to our base with something like this. So a lot of times I'll do something like this, maybe a few wrinkles. Yeah, something like that. So this is the base concept, right? So we got these shapes. We're practicing moving them around, going forward, back, to the side, whatever you can think of. Get funky with it. Do all sorts of stuff, right? So you got all these different spikes and horns that you could think of, right? Well, then from here, you just pick one. I'll actually just start one more. Group these together. And we'll just render this one out. So what I'm going to do is start with the base, or where I picture it attaching. I'm going to bring that out, around, and back up. Something like this. See if I rotate that around, if that looks better. Yeah, you know what? I'll bring it like this and then bring it back around one more time. Yeah, that's cooler. Okay, we'll do this one. You see, it's just playing around with these shapes to get something you like. This is just our rough. We'll attach it to the creature, the minotaur, whatever this is. So it'll go like this. You know, you could have some hair, some fur kind of coming out, whatever you want to do there. So there's our initial shape. And then what I like to do here, as I mentioned, I like to put these little shifts in direction. You can also bump up the edges if you want to make it look a little more organic if it's looking too awfully smooth. Sometimes I'll put these breaks through here as well. Definitely do this more for like helmet designs. I think we could pull that off for a creature concept as well, why not? And then same thing here. I'm going to put these curves. Now you could just go like this if you want to keep it simple, right? Just wrapping lines, basically those segmentations that you'll see in the horns. But I think what looks a little bit better is when they have just a little bit more of a swirl to them. Takes a minute to get right. Probably add another layer or two to really envision this a bit better. I don't know why I have to play around with this a bit to get it right. Like anything else, once I see it, I'm generally good to go. And here, when the horn starts to turn and come back at you, you're generally going to want to reverse the segmentation lines. I actually messed up and didn't do that here. I also created a bit of a tangent, which I'll fix at the end. Whoopsie. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to merge these together. And a lot of times what I'll do here is add another layer. I'm sure you've seen me do this before if you watch the channel. I like to add my shadows in like this. Get that brush a bit bigger. I'll probably do a bounce light right there. So I'll add a shadow like this. Maybe a little texture up here. Shadow down here. Shadow these individually a little bit. Something like that. So it just gives me a reference point. Maybe I'll shade into this a little bit more. And there we go. So now I can ink this. And what I like to do there is add a layer over top. Set that to screen. Add one more layer. And so now I'm ready to ink it. I will kick this into time lapse and move it along a little bit faster. So let's jump in and ink this sucker. right, so there it is. So now I'm just going to fix that tangent, and then I will create a copy and make it look like two of them, since I told you I would draw two. But they're easy enough to flip. So just make sure that these little lines right here don't converge together. That can be distracting. I don't know why I don't see this stuff. You guys are always nice enough to point it out for me, which is great. I really appreciate it. And so yeah, I have a really bad problem with tangents in my work. So if you don't know if it's mine, just look for a tangent and you might find that it's my work. Okay, so if we take this now, duplicate it, flip it, and there we go. We got a set of horns. How nice is that? Obviously, you probably wouldn't have them that close together. And then you can play around with these. You can rotate them different ways, see what you get. But yeah, that's essentially it. That is how I would create horns. And then I would, obviously shade them differently as well. So what you can do is flip the artwork earlier in the process, then add your shadows and stuff like that. It's going to come out looking better. If your light source is like symmetrical, then obviously that's a bit of a problem. But there you go. So hopefully today's video has been informative for you and helped you out. I'd love to know what you think. More on the way soon. Good luck with the art, and bye for now.